Go. In this episode, we will be talking about doing kick panels and properly bonding them to the base. We've already gone ahead and made the base in the car and stuff, and now we've made our two rings. The way we're going to do this today is that I'm going to do it, it's kind of an old-fashioned way of doing this, where I'm going to do a mount on top. So basically, when you have it together, the speaker assembly is like this with using the normal grill. This would be the standard method that you would use to making a grill, to making kick panels. Now, what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've already made my rings, made my cutouts to the size they need to be. I've also put a rabbet here, which will be used to guide our mold fabric onto the surface. This is where we'll bond to it. And the reason we do that, that I like to do this is that it keeps this surface here flat. So that way when you go to put anything on it, it'll have a nice, good, flat, finished surface to it. Now the holes that you see here are going to be used for dowel rods. We're going to take dowel rods and we'll insert them in here. And then when we're mounting this in the angle that we need to set this up in the kick panel, I'll be using CA, cyanoacrylics, and bonding these to the fiberglass frame, and it will hold this in place. That way we can pull the kick panel out and then wrap the whole mechanism using our mold fabric. Right now, like I said, we've already gone. I've also put a radius edge 1/4 inch on this side. The reason for that is that in this particular case, we will have an extreme pull, which will actually cause it to pull around the corner and back down slightly at this angle. When you do this, I don't want a square edge on this. The leading edge here kind of looks cheap, would be the best way I can explain it. So, but for right now, we will take our rings and we will go and do the mounts inside the car, and I'll show. Here we can see now that I'm setting up my kick panels. Here you can see a dowel rod. You know, I've gone ahead and let it protrude through, but it's kind of hard to see, but I've attached it down here at the bottom. It's really dark, I'm sorry, but as the rabbet I showed, here's the rabbet that I'll use to do the piece. Now, I'm going to integrate this directly into the side piece. I've already scuffed this up really heavy, which is one of the major things you got to do so that you can bond plastic to fiberglass. It's one of the most well-known bitches to installers. Is how the heck do you bond the two together? And of course I've got to work on getting the damn thing to sit right. Doesn't want to play nice with me right now. Now how I'm going to do the angling is I'm going to use my laser pointer. It's very straightforward, you know, just follow the dot. Yay! And in this case I've already gone and set up a position on my other side of the window, and the laser, you know, points across and hits there. Now people ask, you know, what is it about the kick panel and the angle of the kick panel that's important? Well, I find that having the angle of the kick panel tilted this way, it helps a little bit, but as long as the speaker is working within its band range, or its power range, excuse me, not band range, but within its power range, your on and off axis frequencies are going to be very minimal, unless you're like 60 degrees off axis. The really important thing is that you want to get both of these aiming in generally the same position, from right to left. And in this case, you know, it's a position I've done for years and years and years. It's down from the ear and goes forward and etc. I'll explain later on this, but it is an old thing that I've done for a very long time, and it has worked for me very well. Now, as you can see, I've got the protruding, dowel out, and this allows me to tilt this thing forward and backwards and test it, and, you know, put it where I want to. But for right now, that's the way it's going to look. I will show you a little bit more in detail once my son starts setting up the other side. I will show you more detail how this is all done. All right, we are preparing for resining right now. Here you can see we've put protective coating, vinyl and stuff down. As my son here, he starts to put on the resin. He's going to work at the top side first, doing the harder parts. He's going to soak. This is Select Products mold fabric, and so he's going to have to go up there at the top. He's going to soak this in as best as he can while it's in place. This way it'll harden, and we can pull the kick panels out and then go ahead and back them up with fiberglass on the second run. He'll do both on the inside and the outside to maximize the amount of penetration into the mold fabric so that it will harden as a solid object. Sometimes when you don't put enough resin in there, it will turn into, it'll be soft on the inside and hard on the outside, and that's a bad thing. You don't want to have that. As you can see, he's being very vigorous with the amount of resin he's using, and also in putting the material on. I'm out here. We just got these all resined up. As you can see, they're nice and slobbery with a ton of resin on it. I'm letting them dry right now. I went inside and did a bunch of backing inside internally with fiberglass. Left the outside alone. That way it'll be easier to go ahead and bondo over and stuff. A couple things you have to make sure of is your connection points here. So when you wrap down with, like in this case, I'll wrap it with vinyl. I'm going to make sure those connections are nice and clean. And it's almost dry. So anyway.